Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Security Unpacked, the space where we strip away the jargon to uncover the real stories behind digital safety, practical cyber skills, and real-world success. I'm your host, Adeola, and this journey is powered by Cyberguard Lounge. If cybersecurity has ever felt like a foreign language, or something just for the IT department, I promise you, this space was built specifically for you. We've all seen the movies, the hacker in the dark hoodie, green coat scrolling down a black screen, and ice siren. But let's get real. The most significant cyber moments don't happen in high-tech bunkers. They happen in your living room while you're checking emails, at the office, while you're even sharing a document, or even at the cafe while you're logging into your bank app. That massive gap between movie magic and your daily reality, that is exactly why we're here. We're turning the lights on. And joining me to flip the switch is a man who lives and breathes this world. Is the co-founder of Cyberguard Lounge and one of our resident authority on all things digital protection, Dr. Dipo. Welcome to the debut episode.
Thank you so much, Adeola. That's really flattering, and I'm so blown apart with that introduction. Like Adeola have said, I'm Dipo Adewumi. I'm an information security or cybersecurity consultant and a co-founder of Cyberguard Lounge. We are here to talk about cybersecurity. And I'm pretty sure that at the end of this program, you will be so impressed and glad that you listen throughout the program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dipo. So now, Dr. Dipo, let's start with the basics. You know, when people hear cybersecurity, their heart rate usually goes up. What is the biggest thing people get wrong about what security actually is?
Wow. When people hear the word security, they are a bit scared because of the negative impact of security. Much more when people hear about cybersecurity, it takes them off guard because they consider cybersecurity to be a very complex concept that is too difficult to understand. Yet, they cannot escape the reality or the negative impact of cybersecurity as it affects the society today. When people hear about the concept of cybersecurity, they become quite jittery about the technicality of it. Some even feel, well, cybersecurity is so or too technical for them to be involved. Unfortunately, there is no one in the world we live in today who can escape the reality of cybersecurity because the society is being digitized. Every strata of the human endeavor today is enabled by information technology. So we have come to embrace the fact that cybersecurity, information security is the normal for the society that we live in. So cybersecurity essentially is not just a complex, far away concept that people cannot or should not come to terms with. Cybersecurity is a concept that has come to be part of day-to-day human endeavor. And I must submit to the fact that you don't need to be so technical. You don't need to be gifted in understanding highly complex terms before you can embrace the reality of cybersecurity. It is not a rocket science. It is something that we all in the society should embrace. Thank you.
Wow, I love that. So what you're saying is that security isn't some technical magic reserved for a chosen few. It's actually a fundamental life skill in the 21st century. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. Because when people think about cybersecurity, many a times they think about, computers, they think about servers, they think about all those technology components that are really difficult to understand. But the truth is, cybersecurity is essentially for the safety of human life, first and foremost, as well as the protection of information in the society. Then the third part is the protection of the information system, talking about even the technological components that people will first of all think of when it comes to cybersecurity. And of course, it's for the protection of the society at large.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. Most of us are walking around with an entire digital ecosystem in our pockets, like the emails, banking, work system, memories. How does cybersecurity show up in those ordinary moments we usually take for granted? Please, can you give us some practical examples on that?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
If you look at it today, an average person has one social media account or the other. Talk about an email, maybe a Google email, Gmail, or a Yahoo Mail, or any other form of email. People also have some other social media accounts like the X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. The list, it's so endless. And all these things are instruments of information technology. They come with beautiful functionalities to make our lives so exciting, in terms of socializing, in terms of the economic gains, in terms of, the social factors and the likes. However, it comes with even the inherent security risk of, sensitive human or private information being divulged to the public. It comes with the risk of financial losses. It comes with the risk of reputational damage. It comes with the risk of disruption of critical processes or critical practices in the society. Take, for instance, someone who has a bank account and the bank account is linked to his email account, and he can actually access the bank account through the email. If the email is being breached by an attacker and the credentials, sensitive information like the password, like the account details are being revealed, the person or the attacker who compromises this person's bank details can actually take over the bank account and defraud, the victim of its unearned money. So we have a lot, and the list is endless. So many things can go wrong. We've had situations of people who have been manipulated using their Facebook accounts. Some people have been, in terms of people ghosting to be somebody else, and they contact their relatives to ask for money and all that. A lot of nefarious activities do happen online, and we can come to terms with the fact that there is no one who is immune to these things that we're talking about. Even the younger ones, we're talking about teenagers who are also exposed to what we call cyberbullying today. So a lot of things are happening in the world of technology. And if we look at even the nation at large, critical part of nation infrastructure, we're talking about national utilities, are being enabled by technology. For example, power, energy, these things are being enabled by information technology. In the case of cyber attack, that is cybersecurity problem or downtime, all these critical services can go into suspension. Imagine people want to make use of power and they cannot because of a cyber attack. People want to make use of essential things like water, but they cannot access it because the technology that is powering the water distribution has been brought down. Imagine people go to hospital, a critical aspect of society, that is the healthcare services. And we have machines now in the healthcare services that are, being developed to carry out complicated surgical operations. Now imagine at the heart of surgical operation, sensitive machines that are carrying out such operations are being hacked or being disrupted. This can literally or directly lead to loss of human lives. So a lot of things are going on in the world today that are closely linked to cybersecurity. And that is the reason why we should take cybersecurity not as just, an enabler of the society, but as part of the driving force in the front corner of the society to ensure first and foremost human life. So it is not just about the gadgets. It's not about the computing component. It's firstly about the protection of human life. Secondly, about the protection of sensitive information. Thirdly, about the protection of information system. And fourthly, we can talk about the protection of some other essential part of the society. So if I begin to list them practically, it can go on, and we will not be able to finish it even in 24 hours.
Thank you so much. This is so fascinating. Whether we realize it or not, we are all already digital citizens. Awareness isn't just a bonus, it's a missing piece of the armor. Okay, let's keep it 100% honest here. Before I knew better, I was definitely guilty of password recycling. Using the same password for my Netflix as I did for my other sensitive accounts. Dr. Dipo gives us a security confession. What's one common habit that people think is harmless, but is actually a wide open door for a breach? Dr. Dipo, please, can you give us that one security confession?
Okay, I think you've actually said it, and it's the one we can easily relate with is the use of password. And because we are so bombarded with so much information systems that we have to access with credentials. When I talk about credentials, I'm talking about the username and the password. And password is a secret word that we have to keep, we have to make it personal. And for this is a major challenge, because remembering this password, it's a major challenge to every individual. Now, if you now have to have several passwords to be used on different social accounts, that becomes even more difficult. And so you see, people have already come into this mode of having the same password used on several accounts. The issue with this is that if the password is compromised, what that means is the attacker who compromises the password can easily gain access to all the other social accounts that the victim is having. Take, for instance, you have a mansion, and your mansion, you have different rooms, and rooms with different doors and all that, and you keep treasures, virtues in each of those rooms. Maybe in a particular room you put gold, in another room you put foreign currencies, in another room you put platinum, and so on and so forth. Now, you decided that you are only going to use just one key for all the doors in that mansion. And let's imagine you have 21 doors in that mansion. Now, the challenge of this is, if that key, that only master key, is compromised, then anyone who compromises that master key can easily gain access to all the 21 rooms. That's what it means. But imagine you have only one key specifically for just one room. Then you have 21 keys. So even if one key is compromised, you still have 20 other rooms that are intact. Unfortunately, it's so difficult for the human brain to keep so many passwords, and so we are now in the mode of recycling password, using it. You see people using the same password on their Facebook. That's the same password they use on their financial account as well. That's really, really dangerous, and many people have actually fallen victim, because what the attackers do is, once they're able to compromise one password for an individual, they use the same password on possible other information system accounts including bank accounts, including some other more sensitive accounts that the person may hold at that point in time, because they have this mindset that an average person will most likely recycle password and use the same password even across most other social information systems. And so it's so easy to be compromised. And the beauty about cybersecurity now is that there are now growing awareness on how one can have very strong password, how one can also go to the extent of creating a higher layer of security above the primary security that password offers. And that's what they call multi-factor authentication or a two-factor authentication. It's just like a door. When you lock it with a key, then you get another key or perhaps a padlock and you add it to it. So it makes it to be harder. Instead of just having just one password that once it is compromised, anyone can easily gain an access into it. So that is that. Then the other one is what they call the passphrase. Many people are not already in the mood of using passphrase. Passphrase I consider even easier to be used than password, because password, of course, it contains some complex numbers that it might really be difficult to remember if you begin to have several passwords. But if you have a passphrase, it's even more difficult for attackers to crack or to breach your passphrase. And it is even much easier for the owner of the passphrase to remember it. For example, a passphrase is, just like simple phrase. Instead of just a word, I can use a simple phrase as, my credential. A very good example could be, maybe I could say, this afternoon, I am going to school. This afternoon, I'm going to school. That is I can easily remember that. It could be, this afternoon, I will hold a podcast. I can easily remember that. So, but for attackers, it's more challenging for them to crack such passphrases. And that is one of the things that people should start considering. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You gave us examples and also gave us solutions as well. If you're listening and your heart just skipped a bit, don't worry. This is a judgment-free lounge and we're here to level up and not look back. Even the most brilliant professionals I know sometimes freeze up when security protocols are mentioned. Why is this field still so intimidating to capable, smart people? Dr. Dipo, please, can you just answer us briefly on that? Capable, smart people are still intimidated about these security protocols. What is the reason and what is the cause?
Well, Adeola, I would just say it is simply mindset. Mindset and mindset. People traditionally have this mindset that cybersecurity is a complex concept because it is a traditional technical field. So they consider it highly technical. The due respect to the female gender. Some years ago, there are certain fields that the society perhaps considered to be maybe too technical for the female gender. A very good example is the field of engineering. However, today we have brilliant female folks who are thriving well in the field of engineering. So it's all about mindset. I will always tell people that I come across, on a day-to-day basis that, look, particularly those ones who are really enthusiastic about cybersecurity and they want to come into the field of cybersecurity, the first thing to be addressed is the mindset. A mindset of, I can understand this thing. Then from that, I can know this thing. Then from that, I can do it. So if people begin to change their mindset about what cybersecurity is or what cybersecurity is not, it will help them to embrace that concept, and it will even help them to be a good player within that field of cybersecurity. So the mindset, first of all, needs to be changed, that cybersecurity is not all about complexity again and again. It's all about common sense, really. To me, I tell
Yes.
people, cybersecurity starts with common sense. What is cybersecurity? It is all about security, protection.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when you need to protect yourself, there are some things about protection that you get by instinct. I mean, somebody says the fastest man on earth is not Usain Bolt, who happened to be, the holder of the shortest runner of 100 meters in the world today, or 100 meters Olympic men. He said the fastest runner in the world is anyone who is confronted with a lion and he has to run for his dear life. And what that means is, a man is confronted with an hungry lion and the lion is dashing towards him.
Yeah.
At least by instinct, the kind of energy it will use to take to a flight, it will be so phenomenal. And that is another practical angle I want to use to relate with the concept of security or cybersecurity. Cybersecurity starts with mindset. Secondly, common sense. What could go wrong?
Yes.
And if they tend to go wrong, what can I do to protect myself or to protect the information system I am meant to manage? So that is majorly about cybersecurity. When people change their mindset and they are being faced with some technical terms or terminologies within the field, they will not be scared. They will just have the open mind to learn it, to understand it, and then apply it. Then secondly, they also come with their own common sense and add it even in the field of cybersecurity, because it is not exhaustive. The field is growing day by day, and anybody can come and add a novel work into it. So you can come into the field today and add something else that nobody else have done previously. That is a good contribution. Who say you cannot do that? Who say people outside there cannot do that? So it is a growing field, and anybody can come in with basic knowledge of understanding, with common sense and good training. People also can add even to the body knowledge of cybersecurity.
Yes, thank you so much. Exactly. And I think another reason is that fear-based messaging just shuts people down. And what we need and what we're providing here in Cyberguard Lounge is clarity and empowerment. We have a diverse crowd listening, from career switchers and business owners to seasoned leaders. If someone is standing at the starting line right now and feeling a bit overwhelmed, what's your day one advice for them? No long talks, just something short. Dr. Dipo, please advise them. Nothing long, just a short thing to just encourage them.
Well,
thank you.
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Many a times, the biggest fear is taking the biggest challenge is taking the first step. So I would tell them to confront their fear and take the first step. The first step is still the change of mindset, where they will come to terms with the fact that they can do it. And when they take that step, the next step is to seek for help. Help is readily available. There are organizations, institutions, professionals who are really vast in the field of cybersecurity that can help. A very good example is Cyberguard Lounge. Cyberguard Lounge is a cybersecurity organization that is ready to take people from the zero knowledge or understanding of cybersecurity to an expert level. So when people change their mindset to making it positive, then they take that first step. Then the next step is they seek for help. Places like Cyberguard Lounge is there. Cybersecurity professionals who can train them, who can mentor them, who can support them to grow. I believe those basic steps can help. And the third one is commitment. Because without commitment, the previous or the initial two steps can become counterproductive. If someone changes his mind, sought for help, But, along the journey, the person becomes discouraged or is not seeking for help. Then it's not going to get the person to the desired destination. So it is important that the person should be committed to that journey. If you are going from Ibadan to Lagos and you get to Shagamu, you must keep going. You don't complain that, the journey is too long. You have to keep going until you get to your destination. So change your mindset. Secondly, seek for the right help in the right place. And thirdly, be committed to the decision you have made. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dipo. Now, before we close the vaults on episode 1, looking at the world today, with AI exploding and the new regulations popping up every month, why is this practical, expert-driven approach so vital for the modern professional?
That's a very brilliant question, Adeola. Thank you so much for that. I was already thinking in line of that. And the answer is very simple. Just one word: learn. Keep learning and keep learning. The world we live in today is not the world where learning is a static or one-off thing. Learning has become an ongoing thing. The world we are living in is not static. And so nobody should afford to be static in his knowledge. In the field of cybersecurity, being faced with the challenge of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And very soon also, I dare to add it, we're going to have another challenge of quantum computing coming on board as well. So everybody needs to keep learning. And somebody will say, that is quite overwhelming. Learning is not overwhelming. When you take learning, in a stepwise manner, it becomes habitual, and habit is something that over a period of time, it becomes part and parcel of you. You don't get tired doing it. So when you make learning a habit, you get to a point that even within the field of cybersecurity, keep learning will not be a problem. And as you keep learning, you are abreast with the innovations, with the new trending things and the threats that are happening within the space. And you are well informed, well equipped, and well prepared to handle challenges within that phase. So I would say keep learning, don't stop learning, unlearn, relearn, keep learning, and keep learning.
Thank you so much. And that is the heartbeat of what we do, turning confusion into confidence and technicality into practical security understanding. Now, Dr. Dipo, quick fire round. Dr. Dipo, no overthinking, just your gut reaction. I'm going to ask you some questions. Fast, don't overthink it, just answer me. Number 1, one cybersecurity myth you wish would disappear forever.
Ransomware.
Okay. Number 2, one simple habit every listener should start literally in the next 5 minutes.
Learn every day.
Okay. Coffee or tea when you're in the deep work zone. Did you get that? Coffee or tea? I said coffee or tea when you are in the deep work zone. Which one do you prefer?
Of course, tea. And let me qualify it, green tea.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Dipo. Today was just the foundation. In the weeks ahead, we're going to be unpacking it all: cyber careers, organizational risk, the wild west of AI, governance and leadership. And we'll be bringing in industry titans and practitioners to give you the view from the inside. We're not giving you fluff, we're just doing real talk. Dr. Dipo, thank you for setting the gold standard for this.
Thank you so much, Adeola. You've been so amazing and exceptional. I give that to you. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been listening to Security Unpacked, powered by the Cyberguard Lounge. If today helped security feel a little clearer and a lot less scary, then you're exactly where you belong. Subscribe, share this with a colleague, and stay with us as we unpack the future of technology and trust. Until next time, Stay secured. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Adeola.